In this video, we're diving into FastestVPN's peer-to-peer capabilities and built-in ad blocker to see if they're actually enough for beginners who just want solid privacy and an easy setup. What's going on, everyone? My name's Eric Hunsaker, and on this channel, we cut through the fluff to help you stay safe online without getting lost in tech jargon or marketing promises. So let's break down what these features really mean in plain English, how they actually work in real life, and whether FastestVPN is a smart pick for people who are new to VPNs or just want something simple and affordable. Peer-to-peer networking. What beginners need to know. Let's start with the basics, because P2P or peer-to-peer gets thrown around a lot, but not everyone really knows what it means. Peer-to-peer networking or P2P is when two or more devices connect directly through each other to share files instead of going through a central server. So when you're downloading something with BitTorrent, for example, you're not just pulling from one server. You're connecting to a swarm of other users who are uploading and downloading the same file. Now here's the thing, not all VPNs allow peer-to-peer traffic. Some block it entirely because it uses more bandwidth, or because they're trying to avoid copyright issues in countries with strict laws. That means if you try to torrent without a peer-to-peer friendly VPN, your connection could get throttled or completely blocked. FastestVPN, though, openly supports peer-to-peer on all of its servers, and that's a big deal for beginners. You don't need to hunt around for special servers, like some other VPNs make you do. You just connect, open your torrent client, and you're good to go. That's one of the most beginner-friendly parts of this service. You don't have to memorize a list of approved servers or dig through settings. It just works. How FastestVPN handles peer-to-peer traffic. So how does it actually protect you when you're downloading something through peer-to-peer? FastestVPN routes your connection through an encrypted tunnel. Everything you send or receive online, including torrent traffic, is encrypted so that your internet service provider can't see what you're doing. Your real IP address is replaced with the IP address of the VPN server you're connected to, so anyone in the torrent swarm just sees that IP, not yours. That means if someone in the swarm is tracking connections, or if a copyright enforcement company is snooping, they can't trace that activity back to you personally. FastestVPN supports protocols like OpenVPN, IPv2, and even WireGuard, which we'll go over more in other videos. Now, each of these has its own balance between speed and security. For most beginners, leaving it on the default auto settings is perfectly fine. The app will pick the best one automatically. But there's a trade-off here. FastestVPN's network isn't massive. They don't have thousands of servers spread across every corner of the globe like NordVPN and Surfshark do. And because of that, you might notice speed differences depending on which country you connect to. If you're in North America, for example, connecting to a nearby US or Canadian server will usually give you solid speeds. But if you try to connect to a server halfway across the world, you might notice slower downloads or higher ping. It's also worth mentioning that while FastestVPN allows peer-to-peer everywhere, some countries have stricter file sharing laws. So if you're connecting through a region like Germany or Japan, your connection is still encrypted, but the local government might have stricter data monitoring laws. To stay on the safe side, choose servers in countries that are generally more relaxed about file sharing, like Switzerland, the Netherlands, or even the Bahamas. The nice part is that switching servers in FastestVPN's app is quick and simple. You can test a few locations and see which gives you the best speeds. And since there's no data cap, you can torrent as much as you want without worrying about limits. The built-in ad blocker and NAT firewall. Let's move on to one of the features that's surprisingly underrated, the built-in ad blocker. If you've ever used the internet without one, you know the deal. Pop-ups everywhere, autoplay videos screaming at you, sketchy banners that look like download buttons. It's not just annoying, it's also risky. A lot of ads actually carry tracking scripts or even malicious code. FastestVPN includes a DNS level ad blocker, which basically filters out ads before they even reach your device. Now, when you visit a website, your device asks a DNS server where to find it. FastestVPN servers step in and block requests to known ad or tracking domains right at that level. So your browser never even loads those ads, meaning fewer pop-ups, faster page loads, and less tracking. You don't have to install a browser extension or configure anything extra. It just works once you're connected. For beginners, that's super convenient because it's one less thing to worry about during setup. Now, the NAT firewall works hand in hand with that. It's like having a digital bouncer for your network. When you're connected to the VPN, the firewall filters out unwanted incoming traffic, like hackers trying to probe open ports or malware bots scanning for weak devices. It's all happening silently in the background. You don't have to toggle settings or manually configure anything. The VPN just runs both of these protections automatically. However, and this is a small caveat, FastestVPN's ad blocker and firewall are always on and can't be customized. Now that's fine for most people, especially beginners, but advanced users might find that a little restrictive. For instance, if the ad blocker mistakenly blocks a legitimate website, you can't whitelist it inside the app. You'd have to disconnect or switch servers temporarily. Still, for 99% of everyday users, it's a simple set and forget it kind of setup, and that's really the appeal. Strengths of FastestVPN for beginners. All right, let's talk about what actually makes FastestVPN stand out for beginners, especially compared to the big names. First, the price. This is one of the cheapest VPNs on the market. You can find it as a lifetime deal for $40 right now if you use the link down below in the description, which is insane compared to most providers charging that per year. For beginners who just want to dip their toes in without dropping a ton of cash, that's a major win. Next, unlimited bandwidth. There's no data cap, no throttling, no nothing. You can stream, download, or torrent as much as you want. Now, if you've ever used a free VPN, then you know how quickly you hit their tiny data limits. FastestVPN doesn't have that problem. Third, protocol flexibility. The app supports several VPN protocols. OpenVPN, which is great for security, IPv2, which is good for mobile and stability, and WireGuard, which is fast and efficient. You don't have to know how they work. You can just let the app choose automatically. But if you're curious or you want to experiment later, you can switch between them with one tap. Another cool thing is their anti-malware domain filtering. It's not full antivirus software, but it does scan domains that you visit against databases of known malicious sites. If it detects something shady, it'll block the connection. That adds an extra safety layer on top of the ad blocker. And finally, simplicity. The user interface is clean and minimal. There's no clutter or unnecessary buttons. You open the app, you hit connect, and you're protected. That's the kind of experience beginners need. Less thinking, more doing. Weaknesses and considerations. All right, now it's not all perfect, and it's important to be real about that. The server network is smaller than most of the top competitors. They cover about 60 countries, which sounds like a lot, but compared to 100 plus or even 150 plus regions that services like NordVPN or Surfshark cover, it starts to feel a little limited. A smaller network can mean a couple of things. You might notice slower speeds during peak hours because there are fewer servers to spread out the traffic. It also means fewer options if you want access to region-specific content like Netflix libraries or streaming platforms from specific countries. And then there's performance consistency. Some users report great speeds, while others see a noticeable slowdown. This usually depends on your distance from the VPN server and the quality of the server hardware. So again, try a few different locations and stick with the ones that perform best. Customer support is another mixed bag. FastestVPN does have live chat and email support, but response times can vary. Some users say they got help right away. Others say they waited hours. That's one area where the budget pricing shows. You're not getting 24/7 instant responses like with the big providers. And finally, transparency. FastestVPN claims to have a strict no logs policy, meaning they don't store your browsing data. That's good, but unlike top tier providers, they haven't gone through a third-party audit to prove it. For beginners who are just starting out, that might not matter much. But if your privacy is your number one concern, it's something to keep in mind. Practical tips for new users. All right, let's get practical here. If you're new to FastestVPN or you're just getting into VPNs in general, here are a few things that you can do to make sure you're getting the most out of it. Number one, start with nearby servers. The closer the server is to you, the faster your connection will be. It's just physics. Data travels faster over shorter distances. So if you're in California, pick a server in the US or Canada before trying one in Europe or Asia, unless you have a specific reason to. Two, use a torrent client that supports encryption. Even though your VPN already encrypts your connection, most good torrent clients like BitTorrent have an option to enable encryption within the client. Turn that on. Helps disguise your traffic even further and prevents your ISP from detecting peer-to-peer activity. 3. Turn on the kill switch. FastestVPN includes a kill switch feature in its app. Basically, if the VPN connection drops, the kill switch instantly cuts your internet to prevent leaks. This is a must-use feature for torrenting or when handling sensitive data. You can find it under settings. Just toggle it on and leave it there. 4. Test the ad blocker. Try visiting an ad-heavy site like a news page or blog, and you'll see the difference. Pages load faster, and those auto-playing video ads, gone. If a site ever looks broken, try switching servers. Sometimes ad blocking lists can be overly aggressive. 5. Don't rush into add-ons. FastestVPN sometimes promotes extras like cloud storage or password managers. Those might sound nice, but if you're new to VPNs, focus on mastering the basics first. You can always upgrade later once you know what you actually need. Alternative VPNs for peer-to-peer and ad blocking. Now, if you try FastestVPN and you find that it's not quite cutting it, maybe speeds feel inconsistent, or you want more control, there are solid alternatives worth looking at. NordVPN is one of the best all-around options for peer-to-peer. They have dedicated peer-to-peer servers, an optional double VPN feature for extra security, and built-in threat protection system that blocks ads, malware, and trackers. Pricier, but you're paying for reliability in a massive global network. Surfshark's another great pick. It's fast, supports unlimited device connections, and has its own clean web feature that works similar to FastestVPN's ad blocker, but with more customization. You can even whitelist specific websites if you want. And if you're focused more on privacy than performance, ProtonVPN is excellent. It's open source, transparent about its no logs policy, and offers secure core servers that route your traffic through privacy-friendly countries for extra protection. And of course, you can also combine a separate ad blocker with your VPN for even stronger filtering. Something like uBlock Origin on your browser will let you customize exactly what gets blocked while your VPN handles encryption and IP masking. It's a powerful combo if you want both control and protection. So, is FastestVPN's peer-to-peer and ad blocking setup enough for beginners? Honestly, yeah, for most people it is. It's simple, affordable, and it just works. You can download torrents safely, browse without constant ads, and protect your data without messing around with complicated settings. But if you're the type who wants blazing fast speeds everywhere or more advanced controls over filters, server routing, or customization, you might outgrow it eventually. FastestVPN is like that first car you buy when you just need to get from point A to point B. It's not a sports car, but it's reliable, safe, and it gets the job done. For casual users, students, or anyone starting to take online privacy seriously, it's a solid entry point into the VPN world. And if you do end up upgrading later, whether to NordVPN, Surfshark, or Proton, you'll already understand the basics and know exactly what features matter to you. So if you want to get started with FastestVPN, we've got that link for you down in the description below, which will bring you to this page right here. We can go ahead and get a lifetime special deal for only $40. Now this is an affiliate link, which means we earn a small commission when you use it at no extra cost to you. And these commissions allow us to continue to create free content just like this. So if you end up using it, we thank you so much in advance. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another video. But other than that, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you here in the next one.